Hello.
Welcome to Logosol's live stream number 3.
3, yes.
My name is Andreas.
My name is Anders.
And we are going to show you the bandsaw mill B1001 today. So first of all, let me just introduce Logosol. It's a Swedish company situated in the north part of Sweden, in Härnösand. And we manufacture and sell bandsaw mills, chainsaw mills, planer molders, and a lot of other stuff for woodworkers. And we are going to do a lot of these live streams from now on. So we're aiming to have one live stream a week. So let us know in the comments if you want to see other products than that we have planned, and have a look at our webpage, logosol.com, Facebook, Logosol Portable Sawmills, and our YouTube channel, and subscribe to our newsletter, because then you will receive news about future live streams and other interesting stuff from us at Logosol. So, the B1001 bandsaw mill. This is the version with the 23 horsepower petrol engine. It's a standard length. It cuts 4.8 meters. This is equipped with a trailer kit as well. Next live stream, where we will show the B751 PRO bandsaw mill. We will also show a lot of accessories that fit the B1001 as well. The new log handling equipment we have. You can find everything on our homepage. So go to logosol.com and you will find more information about our products and about the accessories for the bandsaw mills. And remember to write questions in the chat, and we will try to answer as many as possible during the live stream. I believe we have support from Logosol in Germany as well, so if you're a German speaker, you can write your questions in German, and they will reply to you there as well. So, the B1001 23 horsepower petrol engine. As I said, this is the standard length, but you can extend it with 1.15 meters every extension, so you can basically extend it as long as you want, really. It cuts logs up to 1 meter in diameter, and it has a board width of 85 centimeters. We have two blade guide wheels, blade guide rollers. One is fixed and the other one is adjustable, which gives you perfect support against the log when you're making the cut. So you can go as wide as that, as narrow as that. And also worth to note is that the blade guide rollers are actually adjustable in all axes, which means that you can adjust them precisely to get the bandsaw blade parallel to the cut. Do we have any questions or something?
Yes, we have a question about the blade. What type of blade are we using today?
We sell 3 different types of blades for our bandsaw mills. We have the regular blade, which is a spring steel blade. and it's also better suited for hardwood. And then we have the carbide tipped blade, which is a spring steel blade with carbide tips that gives a perfect finish, cuts really good, and it lasts long. I mean, it lasts really long. You can use the same blade for several days before you need to replace it, or for weeks maybe, depending on how much you're milling. We'll just make a cut so you can see how it runs, and then we'll go in and look on more specific details on the mill itself. So, safety first. That's a smooth first cut, or second cut perhaps.
Second cut, yes.
Yeah. If we're going to look a bit more specifically on the 1001 bandsaw mill, you can probably see the very rigid frame that's made out of steel tubes. So it's very solid and rigid, and bolts together with these shafts that go through on each side. So it's a really solid connection between the rail pieces. And then, so compared to it's the same type of rail system that we use for the B751 PRO. And then if we look at the saw head, it's the same here. It's a rigid steel construction. And one cool thing is this. Perhaps if we can, should we go to the handheld camera and see if I can show you? As you can see here, this is the saw head, and this is actually an integrated water tank. So it's a water tank, and it also gives stability and rigidity to the whole saw head. So it's really a functional and cool feature. And the saw head is lifted. I don't know if you can see, but it's chains going inside of the steel frame, and the chains give a precise movement of the saw head. And then we have the scale or the indicator that tells you the height of the saw head, the height from the saw blade down to the log beds. And this thing here is what we call the last cut indicator, which means that if you cut through the log and you lift it up and take your saw head back. Whenever you're going to be ready for the next cut, you just go down to the last cut indicator that shows you where you made the last cut. So really easy to make cut after cut after cut at a precise level. And also the adjustment of the saw head is made in incremental steps, 1/8 of an inch, which is basically the curve of the saw blade. So it's actually the same kind of thing that you have on our chainsaw mills. So it's really easy to calculate for the curve when you're milling. So one full turn of this handle is 1 inch, and then you take 1 extra increment for the curve. So let's make another cut. Okay, we have
a question regarding the water tank.
Yes.
Is it easy to drain it in wintertime?
If it's easy to drain it in the wintertime, yes. I mean, you can just open the valve in the bottom and drain it out. So you have there's a lever here for on and off, and then where the tube goes through the plate where the motor sits, you adjust the flow. So if you open that fully and just open the lever, you can drain the tank before you stop milling.
Can you have something in the tank so it doesn't?
Yes, I mean you can use, for example, wind washer fluid to give it some antifreeze, so that you can use it even when it's minus 10 or 20 degrees. But during summertime, we use mainly water. But if you have a wood with a lot of resin in it, you can use, for example, a bit of soap in the water to make it clean a bit more, or to keep the blade cleaner. But water is usually enough.
Can you saw a big oak log on this bandsaw mill?
Of course you can saw a big oak log on this bandsaw mill. We actually did it ourselves last year at an exhibition. It was actually almost a meter in diameter log, really big one. And it works really fine. I mean, the feed speed is slower when you're milling wider and harder species of wood. But other than that, it works fine. More?
Yes, we have one more question. The trailer, is it approved for road use in Europe?
It's not an approved trailer for road use in Europe. It's I can only answer for in Sweden. You can use it on the road if you're using it as a slow tow trailer. So you put the sign behind and you can run it on the road legally in 30 kilometers per hour. Yeah, let's go again. Du stannar den här. Ska vi testa att ta lös och sätta dit bladet? Should we lift this off first? It's really easy to change the saw blade, and we're going to show you just how easy it is. So if we fold the lid up, you can see the saw blade here. We have the band wheels that are designed as fan wheels, actually. So these help to blow out the sawdust on this side over here. So it works really well. So you get a lot of air going through here and just blowing the sawdust out on the opposite side from the operator. What else? This is the clutch for the petrol motor and the belt tensioning. And as you can see, the lid is held up by a latch here, and you can see there's a cable as well going to that hinge. So that's a safety switch. So when the lid is open, you can't start the motor. So, but to be able to change the blade, we need to loosen the blade tension. And it's really good to have a pair of gloves when you do this. So you loosen the tension and then you remove the blade by pulling it straight out. And now we're actually going to put back the same blade, just to show you. So put the blade back in roughly the same position, tension it up, and we have the tension indicator over here. So we have two notches and the orange plate to show you the correct tension. Now when we have the correct tension, we always spin the blade a couple of turns just so that it lines up properly on the wheels. And we close the lid. And then we're good to go again. So that's how easy it is to change the saw blade. Questions?
Can you fold down the saw head when you should transport it, the bandsaw?
One more time.
Can you fold down the saw head when you...
You can't fold the saw head down. There is, together with the trailer kit, there's two safety plates on each side that actually attaches to these plates that you bolt onto the rail. So you actually lock it in position, but you can't fold it down. It's still the same height.
Do you think you can tow this bandsaw mill with a Subaru Outback?
It's
Yeah, absolutely. The weight is around 700 kilos with the trailer, 750 maybe.
Yeah, with the Subaru Outback shouldn't be a problem. As long as the car allows the weight.
Is the bandsaw mills available in Canada?
Yes. The bandsaw mills are available in Canada. You can go into logosol.ca and you will find the contact information for our Canadian distributor.
Is there a blade sharpener?
Yes, we offer a blade sharpener as well. Really easy to use and gives you a better, I mean, economical lifespan of the blade, because you can sharpen the blades about 4 to 6 times with the sharpener. So we offer that as well. We have it in the web shop, on our homepage as well.
It's the same clutch on the B751.
Yes, it's the same clutch on the B751, 18 horsepower, I believe. The 23 horsepower 1001 and the B751 18 horsepower have the exact same clutch. I think it's a different clutch on the 13 horsepower model. The 1001 is available in 2 options: petrol 23 horsepower and electric 12 kilowatt, 3-phase 400 volt, 50 hertz.
We have some questions regarding prices. Perhaps we could tell about our home pages and how to buy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, you can always find the prices online on Logosol.com. If you go to Logosol.com, you can find any other homepage that we have in your country. For example, if you go to Logosol.com first, you can find your way to Logosol.ca or .us or any other country outside of Sweden. So you can find all pricing online, and you can even place your orders in our web shop. You can email us, and you can give us a phone call, and we will help you out with your order or any questions you might have. You can also contact us on social media at Facebook, for example, Facebook Messenger. When you buy the 1001, it comes with the pre-assembled saw head and the base, the rails. You need to assemble them yourself. So it's quite a neat package, but the saw head is pre-assembled. So what you need to do is to bolt together the rail and put the saw head on it, do the first initial setup, such as lining up the wheels, and then you're good to go. Comes on a pallet. I believe that we do one more cut, and then we turn it up so that we can show both the patented log clamps that we have, and also the toe board. So we'll make one cut, and then we'll turn it up 90 degrees. We can also have a look at the log supports. I wonder if we should go over to my camera, and I can show you
Anders can actually show you the how the log clamps work. So, Anders,
Yes.
you can just, if you let that go, and you can just show them how the log clamps,
Yeah.
how you operate them.
Start it like this. And, so as you can turn around that one and lock it with this.
So it's an eccentric log clamp, and you can see that you have different holes to fit them in. Then you have the big eccentre here to take up the gap, and then you lock it with the handle. So really good, easy to operate, and holds the log firmly without damaging the log. Let's see if we can go over here and look at the, yeah, you can turn it over. Look at the log supports, or the log rests. Anders is just going to secure the log over there. And as he secures the other one, we can probably get the log up to line up with the log rests here. We're going to have a look at the log rests more in detail. Like that, as you can see, the log rests are fixed to the log bed, and you have three different positions to have them, and you have an eccentric plate in the bottom, which gives you the ability to adjust the log rests so that they are exactly square with the log beds, which is really good if you're making cants or beams and you want them to be perfectly square. And also another cool thing is that on the scale itself, I don't know if you can see, it's actually marked 3 red dots on there that actually mark the position of where the log rests are. So if you put them in the second hole here, and you put both ones in the same hole, you know exactly where they are when you're making the cut, which means you won't cut through them. Yeah. So now we're ready to make another cut from here. gonna put this here. Oops. What I forgot to show you is actually the toe board. We have an accessory that you use for tapered logs, such as this one. I mean, it's wider in one end and more narrow here. So to be able to get the center of the log level, we have this hydraulic jack here, which gives you the possibility to what do you say, raise the smaller end of the log to get it level. The toe board. So you can find that online as well when you go into the bandsaw mill category and look at accessories. Do we have any more questions?
Good to see that we have viewers from many different countries, and we have greetings from Carl in Paraguay. B1001 is the best. He writes this. I've been sewing for a year now and still very happy with my decision.
Wow,
very cool. Nice to hear.
Nice to hear.
And he also has a question. Will you have a smart set for the electric version in the future?
Yes. We will have a smart set. Yeah, we can talk about that now as well. Very good question. Greetings to Paraguay. As I told you before, we are going to show the log handling accessories that we have now on the when we're showing the B751 PRO. So we'll show the log ramps and the log loader and the log turner and all the HD, the XL clamps and everything. We also have an accessory that we call the smart set, which is a computer that feeds the saw head, and you can raise and lift, raise and lower the saw head electronically, and you got it's basically a computer that calculates each cut. A really smart one. And that's now it's available for petrol engines. So we have it for the B1001 with the petrol engine, and we're working on getting the electric version out during this year as well. So we will have the smart set for the 400 volt machines, the B1001 and the B751 PRO, later this year. Yeah. Do we have any more questions?
What is the total weight of the machine?
Right now with the trailer kit, it's about 750 kilos. And without 625. Okay. About. Do we have any more questions? No?
I think we missed them with the wheels, that you can keep them this way too when you set up the saw.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can get the blade line up straight against the log bed.
Yeah, we've actually put a lot of thought into designing the mill. So I mean, I told you about the blade guide rollers that you can adjust always, and that is actually something you only see on much more expensive sawmills. And as Anders said as well, the band wheels are also fully adjustable, which means that when you set it up, you can get it perfectly square and straight and parallel to the saw bed. So that's really something that's useful and give you a perfect cut each time. Mycket bra, very good. Let's see, is there anything I forgot about? There's so much fun stuff to tell you about this mill. Do we have any more questions?
No, but I Ask about the LM410. Perhaps we could mention something about that.
We have a log molder, the LM410. We have a log molder for the chainsaw mills, and we have a log molder for the bandsaw mills. So the LM410 fits on the same rail as the saw head, and it's got a 410 millimeter wide cutter head, so you can straighten and plane beams, actually up to 600 millimeters wide, because you can slide the cutter head sideways. And you can also use it as a log molder. Since it's a standard cutter head, you can put in molding knives, blades, that makes the log molding profile with tongue and groove, or whatever profile you like. Really, we have some standard profiles on our homepage, but since it's a standard cutter head, you can actually order special custom-made knives for a special profile that you can use. It's a really good accessory if you want to make timber frames and big beams that you want to plane and straighten. You can do that directly on the mill. It's really good. More questions?
Blade questions again. How do you sharpen the blades?
Yeah, I mean, we sell a blade grinder that's automatic, so that you can sharpen your blades. So you just set the depth and the feeding on the blade grinder, and it feeds the whole blade through itself. You can find that online as well. Perhaps we should have a separate live stream just grinding blades, or we can have the blade grinder during our next bandsaw mill live stream. Actually, that's a good suggestion, so we can show exactly how it works. Do you want to turn it, or do you want to make another cut this side? Yeah, take one more, like a 2-inch plank. 2-inch, yeah. Do you have something to add, Anders? Something we've forgotten to show or
I don't think so.
talk about?
Yeah. Everything.
And more questions? Yes?
Is it also possible to cut the boards in millimeters? Measure in millimeters.
Yeah, I mean, you have a scale that show you millimeters, so that's possible, and I mean that's what you do basically, even though the curve will be 1/8 of an inch. So 1/8 of an inch is about 3 millimeters. So you can choose between 3 millimeter steps or increments. So you have two scales, one showing you the height or thickness in inches, and then you have one scale that shows you the thickness in millimeters. So you can use both. And you can also change, if you want to have smaller increments, there is actually a possibility to change this disc here to go from 8 increments to 16, which gives you basically 1.6 millimeter differences, so you can hit a single millimeter if you like to, almost. Do we have any more questions?
It's more about these accessories that we don't show here. Repeat again about them.
Yeah. Next live stream, where we will be showing the B751 PRO. We will show all the new accessories, such as the log loader and log turner, the log ramps, the log handling kit, the XL as well. And those accessories are available for both the B1001 and the B751 PRO. So next live stream will be in, I believe, 1.5 weeks with the B751 PRO. No? Isn't it? April 24th. Yeah, the big mill first, yeah. So April 24th, we will show the B751 PRO with all the new accessories that we have. And those accessories also fit the B1001. Yeah?
The scales, does they include the curve of the blade?
Yeah, since we have these increments of the height adjustment, so the curve is built in this handle, basically. So one full turn is 25 millimeters or 1 inch, and then you take one click or one increment for the curve. So it's actually already built in the lifting mechanism. So one full turn for 1 inch or 25 millimeters, and one extra increment for the curve.
Can you cut a half-inch board?
A half-inch board.
Can you
Yes.
demo now?
I mean the cut.
Yeah.
The thinnest board you can cut is. I mean with this disc with 8 increments on 1 inch, the thinnest board you can cut is 3 millimeters. So we can make a really thin board. I don't know if you call it board anymore when it's so thin. Veneer, perhaps. Ja.
Much easier to handle.
Easier to handle, yeah. This is, but you can go thinner, right? This is 6. 6 millimeters. Do we have any more questions?
Have you calculated how many square meters per hour you can possibly produce?
How many square meters? Or is it, I mean, more like cubic meters per hour? Yeah, yeah, but you can calculate in square meters as well, I think. But it actually, this is a tricky question, but because it actually depends on what you're milling. If you have a really large log and you're just making few cuts to produce beams, you can probably mill, I don't know, 10 cubic meters, 15, when you're just making a few cuts and large pieces of wood, compared to when you're making thin boards or a lot of cuts in one tree or in one log. You can probably make much less. Let's say you make 3, 4, 5 cubic meters in a day. So it really depends on what you are producing. So if you want to produce a lot in terms of cubic meter, have a large log and make just 4 cuts, and then you have a big chunk of wood that's perhaps 1 cubic meters ready, and then you can produce a lot in a day. But so we haven't made like a calculation where you test this compared to a different, I mean, in different scenarios. So it's a hard question to answer.
And how many friends you have to lift and help you?
Yeah, exactly. It depends on how many friends you have as well. Of course, when you are alone and working with the mill, it takes a lot of time. I mean, the milling itself isn't the time-consuming part. It's the other thing, taking away the boards and the slabs, turning the log for the next cut. And if you have someone with you that does that, of course it helps and speeds up the production capacity. If you can just keep milling all the time and have someone that takes care of the other stuff around you. Yeah. Do we have anything more? No? Then I think it's time for us to say goodbye and see you next time. Thank you for watching. If you want to see this demo again, but if you want to see it again, it'll be up on YouTube. And if you want to see it in Swedish, you can just hang on for half an hour roughly. You can see it in Swedish. And please remember to send in questions, ask us about the mills, give us a phone call, send us emails, ask us on Facebook, Instagram, and go in and what do you say? Sign up for our newsletter, and you will be notified about future live streams and about campaigns and more information about new products. Yeah, I think that's it. Bye. Take care.